watching TCR's Media Network with Mark Connors.
The following is a 13-minute emergency report. Obama has essentially federalized national elections in this country, which is unprecedented. It basically dissolves the states' roles in the electoral process and clearly signifies they may be preparing to try to overthrow the Trump election in the next 13 days. That's the only reason they could do this. We also have this very suspicious shooting at the airport in Florida I'm going to break down, and we'll also look at the attempts to claim that Trump is some type of Russian agent with the latest disinformation. But the information at the end of this report is the most important, dealing with the federalization of the election. We told you it was coming 6 months ago. It's now here. I'm begging everyone who cares about this country and this republic to research this information for yourself and to contact independent media and others in your area, your legislators, your governors, and others. We need to have a huge outcry concerning this. The article, breaking it down with videos, is at Infowars.com, written by Don Salazar. The three big events that took place today all tie together, and it's part of an offshore destabilization program against this country and any other country that tries to become sovereign again and control their own destiny. We've seen a military veteran, supposedly, coming in out of an Air Canada flight, getting his gun out of checked baggage and shooting and killing at least 5 people, injuring a bunch of others. The only problem is Air Canada says no one checked guns on their flights coming in, and they have no record of this individual or his name. But the larger point is that this individual a year ago went to the FBI and said, I was forced to train with ISIS and I was forced to fight for ISIS, and then nothing was done. Either he's schizophrenic and insane and watched too many episodes of Homeland and shouldn't be out on the street. Military veteran saying he's being forced to, fight for ISIS and is about to go out and do horrible things, or he's some weak-minded individual who was recruited and put under their control, like Bergdahl or others. But this follows the same pattern, just like we saw with Major Hassan at 13 dead at Fort Hood. CIA knew for 2 years what he was planning and stood down. And it goes on and on. So people ask me, is this a false flag? Yes, it's a false flag. But the media has always misdefined a false flag as only one type, that the government or some other group completely manufactures something from pillar to post. It's totally synthetic, and there are no real actors. There are no real individuals or ideologies behind it. Those are very rare. A false flag is if you know somebody's going to do something and you basically open the door for them or materially support them so they can carry it out. And then you basically use that event to get something political you want advanced. That is the most common type. Bring in 5 million jihadis into Europe, 3 million into Germany just the last couple years. Let them attack and then say, we can't be a free society anymore. We've got to take people's rights away. We've got to ban free speech of nationalists and patriots and people who are the ones exposing that the jihadis were brought in. That's the most common scenario. And they hide the whole thing in plain view. It came out just last week. Of course, the New York Times knew about it a year ago and sat on it, that John Kerry told a group of Syrian diplomats on tape. I mean, there's audio of it. It's on Infowars.com. This is not debated, by the way, if you're a new listener or viewer. I know it's incredible sounding, but this is in plain view. Nobody's gone to prison. That's what's crazy. This isn't a conspiracy theory. John Kerry said, Obama wants to build and allow ISIS to grow. Well, of course they did. Hillary, as the head of the State Department, funded al-Qaeda to go into Syria and Libya. When the public woke up, they just branded the name different to ISIS to confuse people. But long story short, this attack has something in common, doesn't it? It's always an Islamicist. It's always a Muslim. Whether he was schizophrenic, or whether he was really under their command, or whether the government knew he was going to do it and then let him do it, it doesn't matter. Because they knew before. They knew he came in a year ago and told them what he was planning. So the question is, why did they do it? Because Obama and the globalists, just like San Bernardino, and just like all these other attacks, want to use this to advance taking the general public's rights and saying, you better curtail what you say on Facebook and Twitter because you're going to spur the jihadis to attack. That's why this is happening. Just like when we have the Somali stabbing people a few months ago and Obama comes out and says this is not Islamic. It's all Islamic. And all of it's a false flag because Western governments are run by traitors that have sided with Saudi Arabia and other Islamic states that are trying to expand their control worldwide, and quite frankly are. Saudi Arabia's got invasions going right now in more than 30 countries with groups they're financing. And the New World Order just wants to keep us in the dark. They want to dumb things down where people go, Al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, ISIS. Who are these different groups? It's all the same Wahhabist, Sunnis, all being quarterbacked, all being run out of Saudi Arabia. And you look at Brennan and others who are reportedly have converted to Islam. He lived in Saudi Arabia for decades. And then you understand why this double cross is so serious and why we're in so much trouble. Now, shift gears. They come out now and they say that, oh my gosh, we've got total proof. Putin was behind everything. They go give Trump a briefing. Days after they've given the MSM the same data, Trump comes out and rightfully says, we had that big hack a few years ago of 20 million people, 14 million of them, U.S. government people, CIA, FBI, NSA, you name it, and all their contacts and all their sub-operatives. A total roll-up. The biggest intelligence coup since World War II when we secretly captured the German code machines and they didn't know. I mean, this is as big as that. A total roll-up of our system. Obama, the Democrats, the Republican leadership, none of them get in trouble. It was clearly done on purpose. And I love how Trump comes out today and the media spins it like, oh, he admits the media is right now. The Russians are involved. No, he came out and he said, why did the Chinese roll up our entire system? And nobody's even talking about it. And now they give me some tenuous evidence that, of course, people from Russia are trying to break into government computers. He said, of course that's going on. It's ongoing. Communist China is attacking everybody 24/7, trying to break into everything. So is the United States. That's what they do. Of course the Russians were breaking into Hillary's server. She has an illegal server in her frickin' bathroom. What do you think foreign governments do? But again, they play on the public's incredible ignorance. But I just see these responses from Trump. They are so presidential. They are so on target. I research this stuff 16 hours a day. I'm obsessed, sometimes 20 hours a day. And literally, I was saying exactly what Trump said today, days ago, but I know he didn't even get it from me. He is so on target, and his advisors are so on target that he is the only person other than like Mathis or Flynn that I ever hear speak or write an article where it makes sense. And that's why they're so damn scared of him. This guy has got real patriots in there that know exactly the score, that know exactly what's happening. America got sold out by multinationals. We got signed on to a combine to be basically made subservient to China and a bunch of multinational banks who combined forces. Russia was already being subdivided going back 18 years ago, controlled, being privatized. Russia stole its system back from the globalists. They've been butthurt ever since. Now, all over the world, every country is beginning to vote to pull out of globalism, which is unelected corporate governance. And that's why they're panicking. That's why they're scared. Because everywhere people are waking up and angry. And the media, the controlled corporate media, it is desperately trying to brand any resistance to total national sovereignty destruction to being some type of foreign agent when it's the opposite. We're the people trying to get national sovereignty back. And their big piece of evidence is Russia celebrated. Well, of course Russia celebrated. The whole free world, or anybody that wants to be free, celebrated to see Hillary, that monster, that warmonger, with all the crimes she's committed, all the things she's done falling. It's a beautiful thing. Just like I celebrated when Brexit passed, or just like I celebrated when nationalist movements began to, in Italy, to block globalism. These are exciting times, very, very exciting times to be alive. Now, that said, let me hit the big enchilada here at the end. And look, if I say these are perilous times, but also very, very positive times at the same time, it's because they are. I mean, I am, quite frankly, almost short of breath. This next piece of news is so big. Remember about 4 months before the election, I said Homeland Security's taking over the election, and they're going to federalize it, and they're going to steal it for Hillary. You don't just think I just pulled that out of my rear end, do you? I had sources, and they know that I'm crazy enough to put out the truth, even though it endangers myself and many others. But I did it because we're in complete danger if we don't. The danger of doing nothing is greater than the danger of doing something many, many times. And you notice that Obama came out and attacked and said it's ridiculous. The feds aren't involved in elections. This is insane. And then a month later after that, about 6 weeks out from the election or less, they said, oh my gosh, we're going to have to federalize the elections. And they tried to break into 6 states' computer systems and flip it live time to Hillary. They were able to steal 5 states. And I said, what's happening here is federalization means putting it under national security, putting it under infrastructure protection, putting it under COG means the whole process will now be secret. And Homeland Security can come in and take control of the states and take control of the counties and cities and basically deputize everybody, and under federal orders, at least this is how they see it, it's unconstitutional, make those locals subordinate themselves to that fraud and basically go along with a globalist through the federal government takeover of our election process. And that signifies with only 13 days left till Trump getting in, they may still be planning to unseat him, claim he's a spy, and hold new elections. And this time they're going to want to have their operatives in place because they're moving forward like they intend to still be in office or to still have their system in place in 13, 14 days, and are just ignoring everything Trump says and does. And even mainline political scientists are saying it's unconstitutional to federalize the election or to have the bureaucracy do it, to have Jay Johnson announce it and not Congress when he's part of a lame duck administration. What I'm getting at here is this is epic civil war. The United States of America is in a civil war against globalist interest with collaborator media, the establishment Republicans, and the Democrats. You know, say Democrats, just a whole lot of them are criminal thugs. The Republican leadership's bad news, but the party itself has good people in it. And this is just such an incredible time to be alive. Everybody has to spread the word on this and just understand that, yes, it looks like they know they can't stop Trump, but they're still moving forward with all this fake intelligence, just like the power plant story. First, it was the whole East Coast, then it was one power plant, then it was a laptop, then it wasn't a laptop, or their fake news list that they listed us and said we're all Russian agents, then said the list was just made up. I mean, they have no soul left. They have nothing to lose now. They're so discredited. They're so reviled. They're so hated. And now they're misrepresenting themselves as the U.S. intelligence when they're only rogue criminal elements of it. And basically, you want to know how to mop up this country and fix it. And anybody that is against Trump, anybody that's against this election, anybody making up all this crap about how we're Russian agents are the same people saying anybody that opposed them was a racist or a homophobe. It's just whatever demonization tactic they can come up with, they do. And if you want to know who the enemies are, here they are. And they are just totally butthurt and out of time, out of gas, and they're losers. Because even if they try to steal this election or kill Trump or overthrow it, good luck, because nobody, and I mean nobody, is buying the crap you're selling except for a few mentally ill Democrat supporters. And everybody knows those poor folks can't even wipe their own asses. So I'll be co-hosting Sunday with David Knight, 4 to 6 p.m. Central, breaking all this down. More reports coming tomorrow. But this is a big, big, big time to be alive. And I just hope that people can get out of their doldrums and realize that we just won this election, but we got to fight for it right now, because the fact that Homeland Security, under globalist control, just announced they're federalizing the elections ahead of Trump even getting in, means that they're not just trying to put stuff in place to federalize elections into the future. They are basically looking at doing it right now to try to have a fake recount, I guess, because the last 2 failed. Again, you do the analysis for yourself. Let me know below in the comments, because I really do respect what you have to say, and it helps take me in different angles I hadn't thought of. I'm Alex Jones for Infowars.com. We're also under massive Facebook censorship right now. Every other platform censoring us as well, except for our own. That's under Hack Attack. So again, the war for America is happening right now. This is real. You just saw us take the presidency back, but now we've actually got to get him in there. All right, that's it for this transmission. Have a good Friday night. God bless you all.